Welcome, everyone, to Curtain Jerks, right here on the Comedy Podcast Network. I'm Scott Narver.
I'm Steve Sears.
And we are comedians living in Hollywood, and we love wrestling. Enough of that. We got so much to cover today.
We are back. We've been going out into the field.
I've been over fields over in the UK.
Fields over yonder.
And now I've been fields in the local.
Fields over sunder.
Fields over sunder. Oh, with some bacon. Love it.
Have you ever had bacon in a blueberry scone?
No.
It's really good.
Okay. I've never had a scone.
Really? You're missing out.
I don't think I am.
They're like
listeners. Am I truly missing out? I've never had a scone.
A scone is like the top of a muffin. It doesn't have any of the paper in the way.
No paper?
Yeah, but you don't want a crumbly scone. You want a scone that's like nice soft bread. You don't want it to be crusty bread.
So there's a possibility that I could get a crusty scone?
Scott, we went to Raw live at Staples Center.
And I went to SmackDown in Ontario.
Yeah, you got 2 days of WWE.
I've seen a month of Impact, which we'll be talking about in future episodes over in the UK when we tie in the interviews with that episode.
Speaking of interviews, do we have any interviews today?
We do. We had Alex Shane, professional wrestler and creator of Wrestle Talk TV last week. And then this week, I got Tom Anstey. And you're like, that name's familiar. Tom
tickles my brain parts.
He does all kinds of stuff. He's the creator and master puppeteer of wrestling memes. He runs NXTees and comes up with those crazy shirts. Not NXT. He's not in charge of the
NXTees, as in T-shirts.
T-shirts. And then also the Damn Good Wrestling Podcast, which is a great podcast, and we're on it each and every time. He plays a vignette of ours.
You know what Tom's business card should say? Cultural tastemaker.
Oh,
that's what I was thinking. I was listening to his interview, and I was
CTM.
Like, CTM. He should cultural tastemaker.
Yeah, TACTM.
CM.
Tactum. I like that. You hear that, Tom? So yes, we got that coming up a little bit later on. But yes, we went to Raw and SmackDown, Steve and I, and we did not see each other at all. And
I saw
you not hang out.
Yeah, we did. That was the. You know what? It is heartbreaking to go to a wrestling event with Scott and not get to sit next to Scott. I saw you from across the arena. Well, I was practically.
I lied to you. I didn't see you.
Really? I watched you half the match.
I was confused where you guys were. You and Phil Ranta, the frequent guest of this podcast. Well, you guys went together.
Yeah.
You had a luxury box.
We were in a luxury box. Apparently there was free beer. We didn't know that until we drank all our beer.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you went and bought beer and then you got...
Yeah, there was free beer. There was free beer in the mini fridge.
How'd you... Okay, so tell me your setup of like... Who got you in? Like, how'd that happen?
Okay,
Phil set you up?
We went to a skybox or whatever, a glass box. It felt like a glass coffin. It was like a tiny little like mini suite at Staples Center, and it was part of CAA, the talent agency.
Whoa.
Yeah, Phil had some
Did you guys have to tap dance?
No tap dancing.
Did you audition?
No.
Did you do wrestler promo monologues?
Hey, man, we were already in the fold.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then we got there, and we got way too much food. And we essentially, it's like you're watching the show from a hotel room that had one side of the wall where a balcony would be completely blown out, and then they just put glass. And so you have a great view of the entire arena.
And they have TVs up there too, right?
No TVs.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought they would have TVs up there.
I think there's probably the executive suites that have like Murphy beds and sort of flat screen TVs. Like
that means Candice Bergen's in them?
A Murphy bed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Candice Murphy bed.
Oh, man. None of our listeners will get that reference at all.
I'm sure 3 people will get that. She's got so many kooky secretaries. It was a good, we didn't need a TV. We had a great view, and I could see you. You were at ringside.
I was at AfterBuzz that I do main event for. They were very kind, very generous, and hooked me up with floor row 2. The hard camera was behind me, so if you go back and watch that Raw and you see a really skinny skeleton standing up and occasionally turning around to the camera doing the yes chants and all that, that's me.
Yeah, I saw you.
That's me.
I saw you.
Making me
Christian Rosenberg.
Oh, yes, another guest of the podcast. This was like a who's who. I saw everybody I knew in wrestling, met more people. Didn't see you and Phil.
Yeah.
Didn't see my friends.
I see you.
My close friends. Oh, shit.
Oh,
God. All the other people that don't listen to the show.
Now
I totally burned them.
Now they know.
Fuck.
You know what? It was a good event overall. I liked it.
It was fun.
I like Raw seems to me really kind of casual. Like That's why I don't watch it, or I watch it 15 minutes before we record.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. I watch.
Just squeeze in that 3 hours.
I watch
15 minutes before.
Yeah, I watch up to, and then after 15 minutes, then we record. Watching it live is so much fun. Like, for what seems like it wasn't a go-home show, but it felt just as intense. It was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
I had realized I never have seen, as much as they've wrestled throughout the years, John Cena versus Randy Orton live. Because I'm going to see it in 15 years when they do it on TNA, you know, a la Hogan and Macho Man in WCW. It'll just continue on throughout the years wherever it can, wherever they go.
As boring as it is to see Randy Orton and John Cena fight each other on TV, watching it live is great. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, those guys are pretty good.
Yeah, those guys are pretty good. It's almost as if they're like the top guys.
I tell you something, what almost happened? I almost went backstage.
Really?
No bullshit.
No bullshit?
No bullshit.
No bullshit?
No bullshit.
Don't bullshit me.
I almost went backstage. It was like, oh, we're so close. We're so close.
Like you were walking to the men's room, and then there was this big curtain that said
the loading
backstage.
dock. We were going to the loading dock.
Because you made it sound like I almost, but then I was like, I gotta go pee, so I went to the men's room. And I didn't want to pee backstage. That's where all the people I really admire are.
All the wrestlers use a pee trough, and that's just intimidating.
That's just super intimidating.
Have you ever seen Brodus Clay's dick? It's so wide.
That's, Jesus. It's like a sand monster from Dune.
Mm-hmm.
I can only extrapolate.
On the
Brodus Clay's penis. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So you were at the loading dock.
And that's what Damien Sandow says after you're done peeing. He just stands there and says, you're welcome.
You're welcome. So you were at the loading dock backing in Brodus Clay's penis so they could offload the pyro.
Alberto Del Rio comes out with a hoodie, and it's weird because, okay, here's what happens. Here's the little, that's so funny to me, like, especially in LA, is we're at the loading dock, and Lillian Garcia's there, and Alberto Del Rio just kind of comes and walks out, and I think he's just, getting a lay of the land, but he's greeting people that are there to come see the show. So for us, it's like a theater performance or something else where they have their comp guests in town that are coming to check out them performing the show. And they're like, hey, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. Hey. And then they got the kid like, oh, hey, how are you, buddy? Oh, you don't like me, huh? And same with Lillian. Like, she was there to greet her friends and all that stuff. So they're coming to see the show. Yeah. Which after Buzz too, like there were people in the crew that knew some of these people, and it was like, oh, so you're here to see the show? Great, have fun, you guys. Rather than,
all right,
fuck it, I want to see Orton lose that belt. I want to see that happen tonight.
Yeah,
like I want a title match. I want this to happen. No, we're going to see the show.
You got to meet work associates.
We did, and we were supposed to pick up our tickets backstage. They said like, yeah, go backstage and pick up your tickets.
But you went to the men's room. I'm gonna stop pushing that joke. I'm sorry.
And so we almost got, but somebody came out and brought us the tickets. It's like, I wanted to see the thing I never want to really see.
Yeah, you want that curtain to be pulled back so you can have all of everything change about how you think about it.
Yeah.
So you can see the Shield hanging out with
Xavier Woods.
Yeah, and the Usos. Like, hey, well, you guys are just like best friends. What's going on here?
Whoa, you're waxing his back. What the hell?
Whoa.
So, yes, Raw was a lot of fun, and being there in the front, like, it was crazy, yell and all that stuff. And,
I got drunk.
Yeah?
I was celebrating at Raw.
Hey, Sheamus! You're not Irish.
Make way for the limes, everybody. Make way for the limes.
Hey,
there's too many limes.
Hey, CAA, there's too many. Hold on, everybody sit down. Let's count. We need to count all the fucking limes.
Everybody's got something really serious to say to everybody, all right?
Stop it. Christian needs a match more. One of my.
You guys, Macho Man is sitting at ringside with a guy dressed as a referee.
And Elizabeth's nipples are popping out.
Is no one else seeing this?
What happened to the genius, Lenny Buffalo?
Where's the genius? Well, that's what it would sound like if there was two of me drunk.
God damn, I wish I was up there, sort of.
You had great seats.
I wish you were down there.
Yeah,
I wish you stuck with AfterBuzz. So I'm like, God. Steve,
yeah,
I wish I stuck with this gig.
I wish I'd been like, I realized that I wanted to be in pretty much every part of that arena. Like, I realized now being in a box, having good seats, having poor seats at shows, I have a good time pretty much no matter where I am in an arena. If it's a live show, I'm gonna have a good time. Drunk or not, guys. Sober fun is fun, right?
I'll tell you right now, it's all right. I see these drunks having a good old time.
I had a good time. Didn't you get drunk in the UK?
I drank. I don't think I got drunk. I've been.
I got high. I only inhaled once. I wasn't sure.
I've been drunk 3 times, and I pretty much know what it feels like. I don't think I was drunk.
You wouldn't count this as that?
No, I drank a lot, and I will talk about that in future episodes. As I am not a drinker, but I was in
a drinking situation.
Oh yeah.
Also, don't drink at Staples Center. It costs $40.
Fuck.
Yeah, it costs way too much money to drink at Staples Center.
In that box, did they give you food, or did you have to buy food?
No, we had to buy food. And apparently there was beers in the mini fridge. There were Corona in cans.
What the shit?
And Schweppes.
Oh, man. Yeah, we didn't. All I got was a shirt.
Yeah?
I got an AfterBuzz shirt.
For free?
So we looked uniformed. Yeah. So it's a long sleeve tee.
Was Maria Menounos there?
No, she wasn't there. I guess she was busy doing something with her career.
No.
Not watching Raw. That's fine. Do your thing.
Go on, girl.
You do your thing. And then I went to SmackDown with Tom Connolly, who I do AfterBuzz with. We went with a friend of his, and we had more laid-back seats, like kind of where we normally sit, but on like looking directly at the Titantron.
Okay.
Like it's right in front of us. And there was a wall behind us, which was amazing because there was no fans behind you chanting stupid shit. Like, it was just kind of sectioned off. It was really nice. Everybody's in front of you.
Yeah.
And that was laid back. It was
so
mellow.
You had good view of the fist?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That SmackDown fist. I could see it where it's supposed to be.
But it isn't there anymore?
It isn't there anymore.
I missed that giant SmackDown fist.
I love that fist.
No.
Such a good fist. But that was a solid show, too. By the time that this episode releases, like, you'll know what happens. And I mean, we got a couple guests today. I think they're probably going to go into it because it's pretty crucial. Like, we're talking to some major SmackDown players here.
Spoilers, guys.
Spoilers, guys, but not spoilers because it's just spoilers for Steve, really.
Yeah, I don't know what happens on SmackDown.
But I think we should talk to one of these guys right off the bat because, Steve, it's been hell all day. You got here a little bit later today. I've been here since the morning, and it's been driving me crazy. Jack Swagger
I got in
is
here.
driving
It's
me
a
fucking
mess.
crazy.
Like, it's a total pandemonium in here.
Yeah, there's papers everywhere. There's streamers. There's
I think
sparklers.
I saw a chicken, but I think that was purely because it seemed chaotic. Like, I don't know if it was actually used for anything.
There's cooked chickens. There's live chickens.
There's feathers in the air.
There's eggs, like hard-boiled, soft-boiled, poached, fried, scrambled. It's unbelievable. I can't.
What's the deal? Why are things so crazy this morning? I show up for work late once. I'm always here early.
Yeah, you're always here early, but this is the one time you were busy. You had a lot of stuff. You got auditions and all that shit, and you're prepping your questions for Human Centipede 3 red carpet.
Yeah. Well,
which is not the red carpet for those new listeners out there. Steve's in the Human Centipede 3.
Yeah, but
he's in the Human Centipede 3, and it's not a red carpet. It's another Human Centipede.
Yeah,
just painted red.
Yeah,
that people
you
stars
walk on
will walk
the red
on.
carpet. Yeah, the red carpet being more extras.
And as you step, it's yeah.
Why is it so crazy here?
Because Jack's. I don't even want to get into it. Like, I'll just let Jack Swagger.
All right, let me talk to Jack. Let me see if I can get to the bottom of this.
Jack Swagger is a real American. Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro. We are gonna win all the gold at the Elimination Chamber. Yes, sirree. Steve, Scrotum Zilla Scott, a nutsack. Yes, we're gonna win all the gold. What's up, Scrotum? What's up, Nutsack?
Jack, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. Seems like things are really crazy here today. And
things are going pretty good because you're talking to a future champion right now.
I couldn't help but hear you were singing a pretty cool song, your own theme song.
It's a new one. Listen, I'm adding lyrics to it.
Yeah, I
considering having John Laurinaitis singing for us.
It sounded like you were narrating.
Podcast.
I think it sounds like you were narrating what's going to happen at Elimination Chamber.
Spoiler alert.
Are you prepared to go up against Antonio Cesaro?
What's it? Do you even know? Do you even know what's going on right now?
And the Elimination Chamber?
Jesus Christ, buddy. Get your head out of your tuchus.
I'm listening. I'm listening, but apparently all I can hear is the blood flow in my own butt.
I think you are drunk right now. I think you were late to work because you've been drinking today. I think you're like a little girl celebrating a birthday week.
Jack.
It's my birthday week.
Jack.
I'm Steve Scrotum. I'm celebrating my birthday week.
Jack,
Look,
I have to admit the champagne goes straight to my head, but right now I have it on ice and I haven't cracked it yet.
I soaked your car.
What the fuck for?
I put happy birthday scrotums.
Oh, okay. When you just say I soaped your car, it sounds like it's like I peed in the snow. All right.
I've done that too. I wrote my whole name.
Okay. What, you wrote your name on my car, or?
I put some snow on your car also, and I peed my name in it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I like it. I like it when someone
Gentle
signs their
ribbing.
birthday cards.
Gentle ribbing.
Yes, gentle ribbing indeed.
Cesaro is in the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I, on SmackDown, just won a Fatal 4-Way match, and I'm the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship against Big E Langston, former WWE Intercontinental Champion. Because I'm going to be
I was about to say
the Intercontinental Champion.
Soon to be previous a former WWE Intercontinental Champion, Big E Langston.
What I'm doing with my singlet is I'm stretching it out because I'm putting my thumbs through the little straps because I'm big time, baby.
Yes, you are very big time.
Stretching these out.
Yeah, you're wearing that like a pair of suspenders. You're like a southern businessman who just put the little guy out of business.
I've got some new merchandise coming on the way. I got a new slogan all set to go.
Oh, what's your new slogan?
Oh, okay. See, here's the thing. See, you step in the ring with me, and you think you're on your game, right?
Yeah, I'd assume I would be.
You think you're on your game, and you think you're going to get that win in the win column, and then if you got a title around your waist that you're going to hold on to that title, I'm going to throw you off. I'm going to throw you off your game. Jack Swagger's going to throw you off your game. I'm going to take that title off you. I'm going to take that win off you, and I'm going to throw you off your game. I'm going to jack you off.
So your new
Swagger
slogan
is going to jack you off.
All right. Okay. Well, based on
Biggie
that,
Langston, look out. Elimination Chamber, I'm going to jack you off.
so you heard it here first. Big E Langston will be jacked off at the Elimination Chamber.
I'm going to jack you off, Biggie Langston.
You know what? When I feel like you get that introduction going, I really see where you're headed with it.
Yeah.
But where my head immediately goes when you say you're going to jack somebody off is it sounds like you're going to, give them the old...
Oh, the old tap out win?
No,
Yeah.
I was going to say more like the old airplane red eye wake 'em up,
Oh, yeah, put a little, you get the little feather, and then you get the guy's palm, and then you put a little sour cream in there, and then you tickle his nose, and then he rubs his face, and he's got sour cream on there, and then you go, baked potatoed ya. Baked potatoed ya. On the old red eye.
Gentle
the
ribbing.
airplane red eye baked potatoing.
I gotcha. Well, it sounds like you're going to jack him off.
Yeah. See?
No, Jack.
I'm going to...
Jack, it sounds like you're going to jack him off.
Yeah, that's exactly what the whole campaign's all about.
You don't have to spell it out to me.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're going to jack him off.
That's right. Jack Swagger going to jack you off. Think of all the contenders that are going to want that Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 30, I'll have a gauntlet match. Yoshitatsu, Zack Ryder, JTG, I'll jack them all off.
So you want a line of people that are ready to be challenged to challenge for a jack off.
I will jack each and every wrestler in the back off.
Wow.
In the ring, WrestleMania 30.
Jeez,
for the fans.
The
fans first and foremost.
Of course.
I want the fans to enjoy me jacking everybody off.
I hesitate to even ask what the merch is going to be related to this.
Oh my goodness.
This slogan.
Oh my goodness. I've got, Daniel Bryan's got that yes towel.
Yeah.
I got a jack off towel.
Why didn't I know that?
I don't know why you didn't know that. Also, Santino's got the Cobra. It's a sock. I got a jack you off sock.
Is it just a regular tube sock?
Yeah, it's a regular tube sock. Yeah,
So
it's one of these 80s athletic socks.
I see. It's got the 2 red stripes at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I noticed that the base of the sock is crusty. Is that so it can be used as a cup holder also?
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be used as a cup holder. It's more durable that way, and it's got a good crunch, so it sounds like you're breaking bones, when you jack somebody off, you break that bone.
When you jack somebody off, you break that bone.
You break that bone.
I guess you could say when you jack that off, you really could break down that bone.
Are you being condescending to me? Cause see,
No,
right now we'll go in the CPN ring, and I'll jack you off right now.
Look, that is a prop ring. It is not regulation size. It's a little bit smaller than a boxing ring. We shouldn't roughhouse it there.
Well, we shouldn't, and you shouldn't be condescending
I'm not
towards a
condescending.
future Intercontinental Champion that'll jack you off.
I was just spitballing with you. I guess I was spitballing with you jacking people off.
I do love spitballing.
Yeah.
People say I'm exceptional at it.
You're very good at it. Very good at it.
So be excited.
Well, it sounds like, if anything, this will just... The road to WrestleMania is just the beginning for you, along with Elimination Chamber. It sounds like you've got a whole year of jacking off to do.
It's tireless. All the jacking off that I'm going to do. Hopefully I'll get my hands on Randy Orton, and then I'll jack him off to win those titles, and then I'll get in the ring with Triple H, and I'll jack him off, and then Stephanie McMahon, if she's pushing in her way with the Authority, I'll jack her off too.
All right. Wow. You know what, Jack?
And if these fans get my face because I'm a real American,
What are you gonna do
I'll
to those
jack
fans?
off the fans.
You're gonna jack off the fans?
I'll jack them off.
All right.
Swagger's going to jack you off.
Babe, you're a heel.
Yeah.
You're just a mean old heel.
And ironically, I take a heel and I turn it and I'll try and break it, and then you get jacked off.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know what, Jack? I was angry. Scott and I were a little bit angry with how crazy things were here this morning, but I have to admit, with that sort of planning and with that sort of foresight that you got going on, I think you're really onto something.
I gotta do a lot of prepping. I gotta stay hydrated if I'm gonna do that much jacking off.
Yeah, that's a good way to lose a lot of essence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, Jack.
Hey, no problem. Why'd you tell him?
What? I did tell him. I told him multiple times that it sounds like he's gonna jack people off.
Yeah, but he clearly doesn't understand that.
Yeah, well, what am I going to say? Jerk off? And he's going to suddenly realize what...
Maybe it's a regional thing.
Hey, you know what, Scott?
He got in trouble with the
maybe it's a
DUI.
regional thing, or maybe it's an entertainment thing. Maybe in this year, 2014, we're going to jerk off our fans, huh? How about that?
Wow, that sounds pretty great.
Yeah, does
I gotta admit, it sounds pretty great.
Wipe off your faces. Get ready for some real jerking off from the Curtain Jerks.
Speaking of jerking, it is time for Jerk Tweets. Each week, go to twitter.com and follow us at Curtain Jerks and send us your hashtag jerk tweets. You got questions about the podcast, about wrestling in general?
We got answers. Just like a car insurance company, motherfucker.
Yeah, we will spit it and tell it to you, and whether or not it's real or true, I don't know.
God, wouldn't it be great if we had a call-in line, 1-800-Curtain Jerks?
I don't know.
It would be all pre-taped.
Okay. Yeah. Then yes. S. Cartwright98 says, I don't have a jerk tweet. Hashtag fuck you, Steve Sears.
Well, you know what? You're a liar because you did, and it just got read on the fucking air.
Yeah, suck on that, bitch.
Man, I couldn't trash talk to save my life. Do you think you could?
Well, you just laughed at what I did, so
no. It's like, snap, bro. I think we really smoked you that time.
I think your mother has been called a hoe.
It's not even certain. I believe your mother was a whore. I'm not certain. Oh, she wasn't? Pardon me for the mistake.
I apologize. Well, if your mother is a little what are you opening?
I'm trying to open these candies you brought back from the UK. Shrimps and bananas.
Yes.
It's a banana holding a bunch of cartoon shrimps in a net. And a butterfly net.
Just don't do it like an old lady in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it.
Sorry, I'll just wait till you're done.
Who is that? I thought he died.
Grandmama, shh.
It's Music Man. No one dies.
Are they going to build the monorail?
That was The Simpsons.
Wasn't it? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
All right, I'm now trying the shrimps and banana candy live on the air.
They looked super gross, and I thought Steve would like it. Does it taste like shrimps?
It's like talcum powder.
Oh, UK candies are usually pretty awesome, but these
They both taste like banana.
Well, clearly S. Cartwright98 was saying happy birthday, Steve Sears. He just spelled it differently. It's all regional. This whole show happens to be just regional.
Yeah, it's all regional. Speaking of, I ran into Steve Dez outside of the Staples Center.
I saw Steve Dez as well.
It was cool seeing that guy.
He almost died.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, in the car thing?
Yeah, one of our listeners, he's sent jerk tweets before, a friend of the show. And, the drunk driver hit him on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, he's doing better. He hurt his finger, though.
Sober fun, pretty good.
Yeah.
Be responsible, everybody.
Steve Dez, we're thinking about you, buddy. Glad you're okay.
Yes. He listens to the show.
I hope
Everybody
he does.
else we mentioned.
Yeah,
on
if
the
we
show,
didn't, then it'd be like,
they don't listen.
Josh Callahan, that guy, it's not like he listens to the show.
He actually does.
Does he?
Unlike you with 16 Bits Podcast, which
No, I didn't even listen to the episode I was on.
Oh,
It was a lot of fun, though.
Jesus. the video game podcast, Steve subbed in for me for a week and then listened to no episodes whatsoever.
Look, I like to support I like to support.
You rate and reviewed it on iTunes, right, to help us out? Oh, Christ.
No.
Eat your shrimps and bananas. GT 2010 says, you are in a car and have a clear road ahead. You may shout an insult at one wrestler, past or present, as you drive past them at the roadside. Which wrestler is it at the roadside, and what insult do you hurl?
Two things. GT 2010 seems like he's like a I want to say it's like a cultural studies teacher in high school. Mm-hmm. Or what is it? No, social studies. Because he always has these sort of hypothetical situations that help you determine how to like better live your life.
I love these.
Yeah, this is great.
He's got good jerk tweets. Everybody step up your game because GT 2010.
Yeah, GT 2010 is schooling some people with these alternate dimension sort of questions.
Yeah. I like the hypotheticals.
I
enjoy it. I try and do that with the ladies on dates. They don't like it. They don't like it.
So if we were trapped in a giant vault that was slowly filling with water...
Anal is right. Anal's possible?
Anal?
Anal's on the table?
I was going to go a little bit sweeter and ask if she would kiss me, but...
That's your hypothetical, you fucking weirdo.
Where's the water coming from? Hey-o, how far away is the rest stop that we stop at that the wrestler's going to chase us down at?
Next rest stop, 30 miles.
Let's see.
30 miles away.
4-minute mile in high school.
And you've got a quarter tank of gas.
Hey, 30 miles? Quarter?
In your car.
Oh, in my car?
Yeah.
I'd go way past that. I could go to the next rest stop.
Okay.
I could easily go to the next rest stop. I would even skip the next one, pee in a Gatorade bottle. And then when I stop and I was like, does anybody want this Gatorade? And then no one's, and I'll just like, I'm throwing it out. And then one person's like, I'll try it. I'm like, don't do it. It's popcorn butter.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So we're in a car and we see them on the side of the road is how I take this, right? Like that's what you're imagining?
Mm-hmm.
So we see them. And
who's driving? Are you driving or I'm driving? Am I driving because it's my car?
Yeah, it's your car, so you're driving.
Okay.
It's a stick.
It's a stick.
Yeah, I can't drive stick.
By the way, everybody, I drive a Jaguar.
Oh, wow.
It's a Toyota Tercel painted like a Jaguar. Green.
I hope you get that. Can we do a Kickstarter for that? Painting Steve's car like a Jaguar.
My first car was a gold Chevy S10 pickup truck with no locks.
Pussy magnet.
Yeah, with no locks, no radio, and tiger stripe seats.
Shut up.
I was fucking cock of the walk. That was a fucking good car.
Wait, you should say what your steering wheel cover is for your car now.
Oh, right now, my steering wheel cover is a Kiss. Like, my car is
band?
shit. Yeah, but it's just the band Kiss. And it's almost completely worn through, and you can't see it says Kiss anywhere. Mm-hmm. Also, this steering wheel cover came with a warning that said, keep away from pregnant ladies, contains lead. They also tell me to fucking wash my hands every time I drive my fucking car. That's fucking bullshit. It's a steering wheel cover. It's like, hey, these are some tissues you can use. Remember, wash your face after every time you use these tissues because they contain ammonia.
My wallet's that way.
Yeah. Don't use it. It's bad for you.
Yeah, that's where I put, my Kleenex. So I just put my wallet to my face and blow my nose.
Yeah. New wallet. Keep out of pocket. Assholes.
Okay.
Fuck Monsanto.
So you're driving. Mm-hmm. And there's a guy on the side of the road. Let's say there's two wrestlers on the side of the road. We
tag team.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna say something to somebody.
And I'm like, I'm gonna say something to the other guy.
So yeah, it's a perfect scenario.
Okay.
Perfect scenario. I'm gonna say for my guy that I'm gonna lay into him because we're talking past president. It can be anybody. It can be anybody. Rosters past president. I am going to say something to Raven.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw an insult at Raven. Who are you gonna insult?
I'm gonna go with Eric Bischoff.
Oh, that's good.
I know he's not an active wrestler, but I feel like he's so he's pretty present in the ring, you know?
Yeah, people got a lot of shit to say to Eric Bischoff.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff. Okay, so when we drive up and then there's Raven I'm like, all right, I got it. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, you want to just yell him at the same time?
No, because then it will lose it. So I'll do my. Hey, Raven! Your WWF tenure wasn't as good as everything else you did, which was really good, bitch. See, I'm terrible at the insults.
Let's drive. Let's go.
Let's go. I really like him. Oh, shit.
All right, okay. Now I'm going to circle back so I can get Eric Bischoff.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Like, okay, now we got to burn somebody.
Hey, Hey, Eric Bischoff.
Like he's having a martini at a bar, slowly turning.
Hey, Eric Bischoff. Nobody ever thought that you were good at kung fu. We know that they just bought that at a costume shop, and your hair looks like you're in junior high. Later.
While he just holds his chest with his hand, like,
yeah.
No.
Eric Bischoff is such a prick. His sarcasm, like everything he said was sarcastic. Even when he was angry at somebody, it sounded sarcastic.
My favorite Eric Bischoff moment of all time is that opening of Impact Wrestling when he was feuding with Jarrett, and Impact Wrestling opens and he's playing guitar.
Yeah.
Like he fucking rocks
He
at
plays
it.
fucking flamenco guitar for like 6 minutes.
Yeah, and then burns Jarrett because he can play guitar and Jarrett never has. Like
He doesn't even say that, right? He just plays and then leaves.
No, he lays into him a little bit. I gotta find that clip. If you guys see that clip, post it on our Facebook page or send it on Twitter. I love that segment so much, just because no one's ever called Jarrett out for not being able to play guitar.
He doesn't play him; he breaks him.
Yeah,
because he's so angry he can't play.
Oh,
didn't an episode of Raw start once with just opening up on Eric Bischoff, and he was just sitting there smiling, and the camera slowly pulled back, and he said, "Hi, I'm Eric Bischoff."
Probably.
Yeah, I think that was pretty badass. Hey, you know what? As much as I hate Eric Bischoff, I fucking love him. I think he's such a weird, creepy, sleazy guy.
Yeah.
And sleazy in like the worst way. Not in that Paul Heyman way, not in that Vince McMahon way, but he is like a true snake. Like,
yeah.
He doesn't seem to really like anything besides making money.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, it's like, I could admire that. But he's like, it's just behind his eyes.
He's an 80s movie
he's a
corporate
total
bad guy.
Yeah,
he's like the dude from RoboCop.
Ronnie Cox? No,
Yeah.
Miguel Ferrer.
No, I agree with you with he's Ronnie Cox.
Yeah.
That what's the character name in that? Like, he's the guy who is in OCP. No, not OCP. Shit.
In OCP.
It's OCP. Okay, yeah.
He's the guy who has the Ed 209 program going?
Yes.
It's Ronnie Cox. It's the old guy.
Yeah, it's the old guy. And also he's in Total Recall. Is the guy who's controlling all the air on Mars. Like, that guy who's that staple of, like, just an asshole. That rich asshole who you just hate him.
You never.
He's
you
fire everybody, but he's
the bad guy
enough.
He's the bad guy in a prep school, the super manipulative guy. You never see him as the jock, or he's the dad of a jock and happens to be just as bad as the jock kid.
And he's also the dean.
Yeah, he's also the dean. He's a real dicklinger.
Oh, man. Yeah, Bischoff is that guy. Speaking of a guy that's not that guy, and not speaking of... Terrible segue.
We're just two guys.
And another guy, another wrestling aficionado that I had the privilege of finally getting to meet through this crazy world of wrestling. I went to the UK.
In person, guy to guy.
We were just guying to guying the whole time. I was privileged enough that Tom Anstey allowed me into his flat. We would say home or apartment.
I think they still say home.
I don't think so, buddy. You didn't go.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's not like they're going to say Lord and Manor. I feel like so often in this show, we sort of really play up. It's like, yeah, it's a different planet over there, man.
dude, they don't use oxygen, bro.
It's all nitrous.
It's all chips and crisps.
Oh, man. Love crisps.
I love chips. Potato chips. He allowed me to stay in his home, showed me around, introduced me to the Wrestle Talk TV people. We got interviews. We saw wrestling shows. We got some tickets, and we had a great time. And I was privileged and honored that he would allow me to do such a thing, because there's no fucking way I'm letting him stay here, man. No goddamn way.
I'll put him up.
It's Los Angeles.
I'll put him up.
Oh, okay. Look at that, Steve. I also don't have a place to put him up in.
Yeah.
I'm renting a room out from somebody. So, Tom Anstey, as I said, he's the creator of wrestling memes that we talk about on the show all the time. Like, to me, they're always the funniest wrestling memes out there.
Cultural tastemaker. Real cultural tastemaker.
Every week, there's a new t-shirt at NXTees.com. Again, funny wrestling t-shirts that are unique and different. That if you don't want the mainstream stuff, check those out. And he does the Damn Good Wrestling podcast where he gets an interview with someone in the world of wrestling, like Botchmania guy. He's had, other wrestlers on there and other people, like journalists and stuff doing the show.
Other guys.
People. And we are always privileged that he plays curtain jerk segments on there. It's crazy. but it's the love of wrestling that we have, and it was a cool bond to have. And we sat down and we did a little interview.
Remember when Mark was on the show just recently when he came back from Japan? He was saying that was the one sort of cultural sort of relevancy is like if you say, "Hey, do you like wrestling?" and someone else will be like, "Yeah." And even if you can't speak the same language, you can be like, "CM Punk, huh? Yeah. Thumbs up, thumbs down." If they say thumbs down, go to work.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Start a conflict in a foreign land.
So it was fun to talk with Tom Anstey about this. So here's my interview with Tom Anstey of Wrestling Memes. Scott here in England, as Steve Sears said, I'm on assignment.
Real assignment.
In Baldock. I think that's...
Baldock.
Baldock. Do you say Baldock?
Baldock.
Okay.
Baldock.
I thought maybe it goes a little quicker because you didn't want to emphasize the ball.
No, we're very mature here.
That's
why we have faggots for sale and things.
Oh, you do. Gosh, you got faggots for sale. Frozen faggots.
They're horrible. Horrible things. Nobody buys them.
That's insensitive.
No, a faggot is a ball of basically pig entrails. It's disgusting. It used to have like pig brain in it, but now it's like liver. It's all the bits of the pig you wouldn't want to put.
Says that?
It's all the bits of the pig that you wouldn't even want to put in the hot dog.
I think they're human beings and they're born differently than the rest of us.
Do you know what a faggot used to be?
Oh,
in England.
Geez. Oh, jeez.
No, it used to be a ball of sticks. That was what a faggot was, which is why when you're reading old books from like that are all like Chaucer and
like Charlotte's Web,
and not like Charlotte's Web,
Ramona Quimby,
like Charles Dickens and stuff.
China's book, A Tale of Two Nipples.
Tale of Two Penises. No, when you read like a Chaucer book or something, that's when they talk about a faggot, they're talking about a ball of sticks, but I don't know what it was for. History.
I'm here with Tom Anstey of Wrestling Memes.
Hello.
Damn good wrestling podcast, which is quite suiting.
It's damn good.
All of your titles for everything you have are straight to the point.
I say what they are, and I mean it.
And NXTees.
Which are the next tees. So.
Mm-hmm. They're the shirts of the future of wrestling.
Exactly.
But for a limited time only.
7 days. And then we occasionally bring them back when we're like, they sold well.
What's your favorite thing that you do of all these things? And you do stuff for Wrestle Talk TV.
I do stuff for Wrestle Talk TV. And schoolofwrestling.knowledge.com. And do I do anything else? I can't remember.
I don't know. Let's say out of those 5 things, what's your go-to if you could do it every day? Like, what's the one you go to?
Well, let me see. With Wrestle Talk TV, I meet a lot of wrestlers, and I generally just kind of piss about while taking photos for things like Twitter. So that's very fun, but it doesn't pay. So
right.
So that if that was paid, I would quit my job tomorrow. But the podcast is very good because I get to interview wrestlers and stuff. I mean, we've I don't know if this will be the same episode or not, but we did an interview with Spud.
These will all be spread out.
They're all spread out. So this
you gotta make the funny in between.
Exactly. You've already heard it probably. Spud. He was on the podcast.
Rockstar Spud.
And I enjoyed that he made fun of Scott, and it was Rockstar. It was Rockstar Spud, not just the man behind it. It was the actual Rockstar Spud.
Yeah, he was into it.
He was well into it, and we saw him a few days later. Actually, we went to the we got the VIP treatment this week.
Oh, we did.
We got we went.
Thanks to everybody at Wrestle Talk TV.
Yes, and Simon Rothstein of TNA Europe.
Yeah,
we sorted everything. We sorted out all the interviews and stuff.
After party.
Yeah, and that was thanks to Francesca Wood and Catherine Miller, who are like, we got +1s. Do you want to come? Yes, we do.
Blows my mind. Beautiful girls watch wrestling.
I think they're the only 2. Maybe there's 3 or 4 others.
There's a couple in America, but they're like I do a show with them on AfterBuzz TV, and they're just starting out.
Oh yeah,
like they're just starting out as wrestling fans, and even still I think they could leave at any moment because they're like, I'm not really into it.
But yeah,
they want to be into it, but in England, it's seeing these lovely educated women. It's like, you like this?
Well, I mean, I think French.
Had I had a chance to interview them, that would have been the whole time. Like, really? You really like this?
We were going to interview them, but it turned out we left the TNA party about 4 a.m, and they were all falling asleep. So we didn't. That was the summary of that story.
We didn't roofie them. Calm down, everybody.
We just drove them to their homes and left them in the road
Separately. Yeah, we didn't make sure they got indoors.
But well, yeah. So I think Francesca and Kat are very special circumstances because Francesca has been watching wrestling since her favorite time of wrestling was, maybe this shows how she's not the best example actually, was the dying days of WCW. They were her favorite days.
Because they're so chaotic?
I don't know. And her favorite wrestler
that,
Sting. That she goes crazy for Sting.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah. And and Kat has been to multiple, I think she's been to 6 or 7 WrestleManias. She's going to this WrestleMania 30. She's really into it.
Yeah. I've seen some of her pictures on Twitter and everybody she's meeting.
Yeah, exactly. And she's best friends with Serge, who I mean, you met Serge at the after party.
I did. I did indeed. I don't even know if I can tell that story. I may tell it at some point, but I want to get into many other stories.
Yeah, I saw that in person, and it was just beautiful.
Well, I took photos, and if they're not posted already, they will be posted. I think they're on your phone, or are they on Kat's?
I think they're on your phone, or maybe Kat's as well.
Kat's camera as well. Like,
yeah,
I know you have some photos of me. It's everybody. Yeah. Like, I have photos of you.
Yeah,
we all have.
And Scott comes through like, take the picture and then pretend it didn't take and take another one. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay.
You guys will see why.
You'll see why.
You'll see why.
But Serge is a really, really nice guy who, if not a little eccentric.
Yeah, he's a little eccentric, but that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
And the best bit was we were looking at his scarf. He looked really Alberto Del Rio.
He did.
He had like a scarf on, and we were looking at the scarf, and it's like, and Kat went, "Oh, it's a really nice scarf." He was like, "Did you like? Is that a Jeff Hardy scarf?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll send one to you." To Kat, and then we were like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, we both kind of went like, "Yeah, we like it," and then being ignored by because it was a pretty girl that he's talking to, as was the theme of the night. Yeah, you had to say something really interesting to talk to wrestlers, because wrestlers don't want to talk to dudes.
Except I got the lovely surprise twice of 2 of my friends debuting on TNA in Wembley. I was like, what?
True.
Well, first it was
first in Manchester.
Yeah, first in Manchester. We're sitting there, and a very good friend of mine, the alpha female, charges out, and I don't know if this is aired on TV, so spoiler alert. Just skip forward about 30 seconds if you haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Alpha female charges out and attacks Velvet Sky. And I'm like, everyone else is like, boo! And I'm like, that's my friend! That's my friend! And I'm pointing at the ring really excited. And then the next night, we're at Wembley, and EC3, who is, I've gone on record, my second favourite wrestler in TNA, just behind Spud.
I can't wait till you say that to him on your interview.
Oh, I'm going to,
You're
Scott,
my second.
Unfortunately, Scott is leaving a day after I've secured an interview with EC3. Or day before, rather.
True.
So that's going to be an exclusive on the Damn Good Wrestling podcast. There's a little plug. But yeah, so he's out there and he says, "Oh, and it's one of your own." And then Doug Williams comes out, who has in recent months becomes quite a good friend. And I was like, "Oh, it's Doug!" Actually, me and Kat and Francesca all did that, because whenever
you guys flipped your shit.
We did, well, because every time we go to Progress Wrestling, which we'll probably go into shortly, he's there, and we meet up with him afterwards, have a drink and stuff, and it's great. And then you get a few random fans, such as Andy. Hello, Andy. Come and just sit down and talk at you. But he's a lovely chap, really. But yeah, and so me and Kat and Francesca were going balmy when he came out, as was everybody else. Actually, he got a really good reaction in Wembley. Yeah,
well, he's a countryman.
Well, yeah, and it was a surprise countryman, and he's great, awesome.
Didn't last long, which was unfortunate.
He got his shit in though, well, except for the German suplex, obviously.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate that it was like, oh, I would have liked to have seen more out of that match and to have the crowd rally behind him.
Yeah,
but that was quick.
But yeah, and that was another thing I got to say to Serge. I got to thank Serge for writing Ethan Carter's theme, because and Scott can attest to this, I have been annoying everybody by just wandering around going trouble, 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 trouble,
You're
trouble,
obsessed.
trouble, trouble, trouble. The only one I like as
You
much
haven't
as
made a
that.
shirt out of it yet.
I haven't. I probably should. That's a great idea. I'll get onto my shirt, guy.
I get yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, the only the other song of TNA that I really like now, but not for the right reasons, is Gunners, because so go onto YouTube now, find Gunners theme and hit play, okay, and then just play it as I'm doing this. Gunner, 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 and
When in doubt, for a wrestler's theme in TNA,
yeah,
when there's no lyrics and it's just very generic, you just chant along the guy's name and put it in there and break up the timing of it.
and it was perfect.
Yeah.
We were writing themes all night. Yeah, I suppose I don't always realise my sphere of influence because I'm like, oh, I'm just a Facebook page. It's not that amazing. And then people come up and say, are you wrestling memes? I'm like, yeah. How do you know me?
Because you're wearing your T-shirt out in public.
At the time, I had a hoodie on.
And when we were at the
when we
the
were in
famous cock.
Not the famous cock. That was because that was Andy.
Well,
Oh, he likes the names of the pubs too because they have penis
you
jokes in it.
guys love the cock over here.
The famous cock.
Well,
The most famous cock.
And then you got a cock in the neighborhood.
Do we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we do. It's up the road. It's not a very nice
Yeah.
pub.
Yeah, it's a pretty big
Yeah,
cock.
we go to the Orange Tree. Much nicer. No penises.
Yeah. Have you ever considered like trying to shape someone's career in some way or giving them a boost on purpose, like taking one guy as an experiment, somebody that you kind of like or you do really like and they don't get enough credit as is, and you're like, I'm going to create this affection because you created affection for Heath Slater when probably most don't care.
I think I do it more in England because like Fandangoing in England, super over.
Mm-hmm.
Heath Slater, super over again. Got 3 MB chance the last time he was over.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to have more of an influence in England than I do in the US.
I want to brainstorm with you for a guy that the night after WrestleMania, like leading up to then, and then the night after WrestleMania is the next Daniel Bryan, as it were.
Okay.
Or like a Heath Slater.
All right, so
somewhere in between those levels of like the super mega guy or the guy that everybody secretly goes, I like Heath Slater now. And if you were to ask him, why? What kind of wrestling memes? Yeah. And the Kurt Dirks interview from a long time ago. But, those two things.
So last year it was Fandango.
Mm-hmm.
So this year,
I mean, there's
just
a lot of guys.
We've
on
got the
roster.
Xbox paused at the moment. Just looking at the list of wrestlers on there.
We do, and we could. I'll throw out a couple names. All right.
All right,
I think
cool.
I'll throw out a couple names. Some guys are already liked as it is, but even more reason to like them.
Okay.
What about a staple on our show, Jack Swagger?
I prefer him on your show.
Okay.
If it was going to be one of those two, one of the tag team, it would be Antonio Cesaro every time.
What about Antonio Cesaro? He was going to be next.
He could be, but I don't. Cesaro is not memeable, is what I've learned.
He's not memeable. What makes Cesaro not memeable?
I think it's a fact that you can't really make fun of him. Well, you probably could, but I tend to not want to
make fun of or enhance.
Yeah, I tend to prefer to make a meme that enhances rather than insults.
Right.
That's why I never promote. Everyone oh TNA, oh that must be a Photoshop thing because the crowd's there or something.
Right.
I hate those kind of jokes. It's just being mean for the sake of being mean. I mean, occasionally I'll poke a little fun, but I try not to make something that will upset somebody. If I think that'll upset somebody, I'm like, no, I won't do that. And yeah, with somebody like Antonio Cesaro, he's so straight laced and stuff. There are things you can do, like Photoshop somebody out and Photoshop it in or something. Mm-hmm. But him specifically isn't a memeable person, which is probably a good thing.
Okay.
For considering his character. I mean, we the people jokes, things like that, but
sure.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler.
You see, he'll get there on his own. He doesn't need my help. Assuming he can get over the politics, but
yeah, doesn't he? I mean, doesn't that extra bit of...
Did you see the promo cut
I
2
did,
days ago?
I did.
That was amazing.
I saw that you posted it.
Yeah, exactly. That was amazing. And that is exactly why Dolph Ziggler does not need my help at all. It needs to be somebody in the lower card who's getting no attention. For example...
Steve will go crazy for this. Yoshitatsu.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Steve, but I'm not a big Yoshitatsu fan.
What better way to become a fan
than
to start memeing him?
The thing was, I didn't like him. He was fine. He was fine.
Sure.
And then he was on NXT, and he came out with a new Warrior gimmick, which looked awesome, but then he came out to do his really happy music. I was like, this is wrong. He needs like badass Japanese. I've been around you too long. Yeah. Badass Japanese. Yoshitatsu needs to have that face paint and the warrior mask. He needs badass Japanese music, and he needs to just kick people if they want to make him awesome. Him coming out and smiling to that music won't do anything for me. Perfectly fine as a wrestler, just the character is wrong.
Okay.
But I have had a thought of who I've actually done this to by accident, and it's quite funny because now he's got a new gimmick, Hunico.
Right.
I started making he came out and everyone could. I was like, I'd just done some sort of meme with Hunico or something in it where he happened to be in the picture. Sin Cara comes out, I'm like, that's definitely Hunico. And I went online quickly. I was like, right, I found Hunico. Here's Hunico. And I started making a joke that everybody in the WWE was being portrayed by Hunico.
Right.
And it's gotten over huge. Everyone loved it. And I think, Hunico, decent wrestler. I mean, yeah, but he wasn't really, that random Latino gang member gimmick just doesn't play well for me, I don't think. And now people seem to be getting behind Hunico because I've been making, or because the meme about him has become popular. Right. Like when it takes a life of its own, that's when you know that you've sort of gotten them more over. Right. But I mean, I don't think my sphere of influence is that big, but I help along the way. I don't.
What's the number of Facebook likes?
75,000-ish.
What's the number of Twitter followers?
21,000-ish.
Okay, you're wrong. So there's that.
Okay. I just don't feel like I am well, I know I'm well known. I know people know who I am.
Jeremy Morash knows who you are.
Yeah, he does, but
people are aware of what it is. Memes are passed around.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of a meme.
I know, that's why I stick the watermark on there, so people come back and like it.
Exactly. But so that's what I mean. It's like I say we have the experiment happen. Sheamus. What about Sheamus?
Well, he's kind of a main eventer anyway, so you wouldn't really be able to tell.
Okay.
It has to be somebody who's in the lower card.
Zack Ryder.
No, he's dead and buried.
Ryback.
I don't want him.
Curtis Axel.
I really don't want him.
Titus O'Neil.
He's about to get a push.
He could get a bigger push.
How about
Darren Young?
I pick
R-Truth.
No.
Xavier
I don't want any of these guys to get pushed. No, I don't want them to not get pushes.
See, look at you. Look at you. You are now the creative in the back of like, I don't want that guy getting over. I don't want this to happen. You are now the tyrant.
It's not that I dislike them. I'm just trying to think of somebody who is a lower card guy who I could make a joke about that isn't insulting them and would be popular.
Mrs. Dad.
I don't think he's working for the WWE, but I do Mrs. Dads all the time. I love Mrs. Dad.
We do too.
As does Gregory Iron, who is... I
want him on the show.
Oh, Gregory Iron would be a perfect example. But he doesn't work for the WWE, unfortunately.
Michael Cole.
I make Cole memes all the time.
Sure, but...
Have you downloaded the WWE app?
Yes, but...
I think I helped with that. Making loads of have you downloaded the WWE app memes, but I mean, it wouldn't come anyway. But I think I helped push that along to the point where they're like, yes, we know he plugs the app all the time.
Yes. Well, I don't... You're the one saying no to all these guys. You
that's
don't
the
want
thing.
any of these people.
It's kind of...
Sweet Tea Tensai.
Oh, dear Lord, no. But no, you see, this is the thing. It's like... I don't pick the wrestler. The wrestler picks me. It's like the magic of superhero films and things like that. I can't remember what film I'm thinking of now where somebody chooses them instead of them choosing them.
Green Lantern?
Green Lantern. The Ring chose him.
Okay.
There you go. It's like Green Lantern. I need somebody to choose me, and I'm like, yes, they will do a good thing.
So,
like one of the guys that I am quite liking in NXT, even though he hasn't done much at the moment, is Sawyer Fulton, who you probably haven't heard of because he doesn't do much in NXT. But I'm liking him purely because he's always tweeting me. I'm like, yeah, NXT guy, but I still need to see what he does. But I'm a Sawyer Fulton guy at the moment.
You haven't even seen him.
I think I saw. He was a lumberjack.
So was William Regal.
And I love William Regal. I'd love to have him on my podcast. I don't know
what that means. Like, he was a lumberjack. So was Michael Palin singing about it.
Exactly. Wait, what?
Monty Python. Come on now.
Oh, right. I was confused about what you were talking about, William Regal, and then you were on to Monty Python.
Well, yeah, I'm just referencing lumberjacks.
Well,
all right, so I would love to see it. I would love to see you pick a guy and meme him to popularity post WrestleMania, but you say it won't happen.
No, I'm not
They
saying
have
it
to
won't
pick
happen.
you.
I'm just saying I don't know who it will be until that moment strikes where I'm like, that's the one. That's the way it happens.
All
Like
right.
it was the same with Heath Slater. I just randomly one day made a joke that was, instead of haters gonna hate, it was Slater's gonna slate, and that was when I only had about 3,000 or 4,000 people like my page, and that just took off to the point where everyone was. I was like, yeah, and then I started liking Heath more and more when he was losing to legends every week in the build up to Raw. I was like, yes. And then I was telling people they couldn't, and people were like, oh, they really hated him. Like, no, he's terrible. No. I was like, do you not understand that he's pissing you off on purpose? This is the entire point. It's supposed to be annoying. And people just, the internet does not get it. They just, there's a difference between not liking someone because you're like, oh, he's just kind of boring, and not liking him because, oh, he annoys me.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I have been here observing, and
I've been guiding you.
You've been guiding me through British wrestling shows, and I've been fascinated more so with the crowds and the reactions to these shows and just the types of people that watch. I actually talked with Mr. Anderson a little bit about it as well.
Yeah. Anderson! Sorry, I had to do that.
Sure you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at the spike peak on the recording we just did
you
then.
peaked it yourself. What's the difference? What is it about British crowds and American crowds that are so different for wrestling?
I think Rockstar Spud kind of said it well. England is relatively a small place, and because of that, there's a lot more. There's a huge amount of talent in such a small space that when you go to the wrestling show, it's going to be amazing. Almost, well, the big shows like your Rev Pros, your Progresses, your PCWs, your ICWs, all those are without a doubt going to be great just because of who's on the card. No matter what happens, no matter what the storylines, you're going to be entertained, and the British audience reacts well to that. I think that's the reason, and obviously we get quite drunk and yell things, which is always fun.
True, but I think that's universal.
Yeah, but maybe more so in England, especially Scotland.
Yeah, there.
But that's a whole nother kettle of fish. Sorry, Scotland.
So, right now the boom seems to be here. It
seems like the wave is going up. Yeah.
What caused the boom here, though?
I think it was initially wrestling it died after the World of Sport era. It died for a while, and in fact, Alex Shane, who a guest of the podcast,
yes.
I don't know if he'll have been on it yet or not, but he basically took the American style because the problem was it was the World of Sport style. It was very old fashioned,
and that is circa.
Yeah, it's like
1980.
Well, it finished in 1990, I think.
Okay.
But it was very outdated at that time. It was people like Rollerball Rocco, Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks, people like that, and it was an 80s style of wrestling, but it was a lot harder in England, like stiffer, I think. But it didn't go over well. And what Alex did was he brought all these Americans over to England, and he brought over the English style, the American style to England,
right.
more glitz, more glamour, but kept the basis of what World of Sport was, but he just gave it a bit of a kick, and that gave wrestling a little boom. Then, he had a show called British Uprising, which sold 3,000 tickets, and it was International Showdown, sorry, and I think on that show he wrestled Mick Foley. And there were a few, there were American names in there, but there were also English guys.
Sure.
And they were kind of the basis for the reboot of English wrestling. And, in 10, 12 years, maybe even a bit longer, because of that, these guys have come up. I mean, Rockstar Spud was a perfect example. When Alex was running the FWA, this is in 2003 or 4 or something, Rockstar Spud was just a tiny little guy called Spud, had, not really much character, but he could wrestle. And he, along with a lot of other people, grew all together through the years, and now he's come to be at the pinnacle of where he is now in Impact Wrestling and doing a great job of it. And it's the same for all these English guys, but we've got such great talent, but there's so many of them. The American companies, they like them, but it's the same with English companies. We want 2 or 3 American guys on our show. We want it mainly English. It's the same way in America. They want 2 or 3 English guys, not really more. That's the only reason that we've kept the talent we have. And there's no like major promotion that's dominant. Like nobody's specifically on TV.
It's not a global.
Yeah, it's all very territory. It's a territory system basically. Sure. I mean, a lot of the talent
now
shared.
It's by country rather than.
Yeah. And I mean, there's
like
a smaller territory system. Like in England, you got like your various places, but I mean, the wrestlers go to every promotion. They just it's kind of a rolling sort of thing. There, who's going to appear where, and then you stick a couple of American guys in there, or Japanese guys, or whoever. And yeah, because of that, we've got world-class talent constantly, and they're not getting the showcase they deserve. But it's great for us because we go to Progress, and there's 400 people packed into a tiny room, all going insane for this wrestling event, and it gets such a good atmosphere that you can't help but get excited. Whereas maybe in America, you can go and watch an equally good card, and 12 people will turn up to a high school gym. And I think that's the difference. We go. I mean, I go to indie wrestling about once or twice a month now, because it's so accessible, and they make you want to come back. And I don't think that the American indies, or at least a lot of them, do that same thing, because they have to fly whoever from where, and they can get 1 or 2 good names. But the English card is just this guy. Like every guy is a top guy in England,
right?
And it kind of rotates around the card, and that's my lecture on England.
Well, speaking of top guys in England, I've been wanting to ask this question since I landed.
Yeah. Oh, is this the one you've been saving from me that you wouldn't tell me?
Saving, yeah, I wouldn't tell you. You're a proud countryman.
Yes.
You, throughout the entire time that you've allowed me to be a guest in your home and in your country, which I'm very grateful for.
Yes.
And showing me around, you take a lot of pride in your country. And
I suppose so.
In your wrestlers. Well, you're
in the wrestlers, yes.
You're always saying, England, like, no, this is proper English. Like, no, this is wrong. You don't have that in America. Like,
I was just surprised you didn't have mashed potato.
No, but there's certain things that it's what we do is incorrect. What you do is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
You're British world champion. The first ever British world champion. Is Magnus your world champion?
I don't know. Well, I suppose he is. I was very happy he won, and but I think the weird thing was I was more happy that Spud helped him with it. Like, Magnus is my first introduction to Magnus was when he was on our version of Gladiators. It was like a reboot of it, and he was called Oblivion. So the first time he comes to TNA, I'm like, oh, that's Oblivion. Oh my god! And I was happy he was there, but and. TNA actually giving us the opportunity to have an English world champion. The only thing that maybe not soured it, but it would have been nice for the first English champion to be a good. He came out of Manchester and Wembley, heavily booed. Yes. It would have been nice for him to come out as the first ever champion for England and be cheered. But I mean, that shows how good work he's doing as a heel. But
did you boo him?
I think I did. I was
yeah. You did at Manchester.
I did at Manchester.
Did you at Wembley?
I think I was half and half.
Like I was on the other side, so I couldn't.
Oh yeah, I was a row forward because of our lovely seating.
Right. Did the girls boo?
Yes, they booed. I think no, they half cheered, half. It was the same. I mean, we were all half cheering, half booing.
Okay.
But obviously, when somebody like Doug Williams came out, we loved it. And
sure, because he was a good guy.
He was a good guy, and disappointed not to see Rockstar Spud there, but we did see him at the after party.
You're booing your own British champion.
Yeah, but you boo Americans all the time.
No, not at all. Share every single one of them.
I liked my favourite part actually was every time Magnus would, or anyone even would insult England and say America was better. I just look back to you and you'd be like, "Yeah, damn right. Yeah, he's a good guy."
I liked it. I almost whipped out my passport and like, "Hey, everybody, I can vouch for this.
Yeah,
this is all true."
But yeah, he's. I see him as he's the first English world champion. There's no, there were a couple in NWA, but at that time they weren't. It wasn't really that big.
Sure.
I mean, my world champion's Jimmy Havoc, but he's a cunt. He's not really. He's lovely. but in character, bastard.
If he did an interview with me, he wouldn't have been one.
No, well,
but he had to go to the hospital because he hurt himself.
Bastard.
So, who's the next British guy you want to see make it big for the world? Basically?
Well, I would say Spud, but I think he's already there.
Okay, yeah, sure. Who's the next British guy, and what company do you want to see that guy go to? Or girl?
You know what? Jimmy Havoc is right up there. He's a really good wrestler, and as you've seen, he's a very, very good bad guy.
He is. Where would you put him?
I'd put him in TNA.
Okay.
I'd have him come in as a good guy initially. Just, have those crazy matches, become a fan favorite, and then bam, bad guy. Mm-hmm. And then he could go back to his emo look that he's got at the moment. Who else would it? Oh, I'd love Grado to make it, because I don't know if he translates well, but in England, I mean, I showed you the entrance video of Grado. He comes out. This is an example of Grado. He comes out to Madonna's "Like a Prayer." That is his entrance theme, and then in the entrance theme, he'll do CM Punk's clobbering time. He'll do the Rock's. He'll do the Rock's like arm thing with the title, but instead he uses a bum bag,
which is a fanny pack. For us. He's really, really funny. Like we went to a Rev Pro show, which is they're quite big. In Dutch, it's an ass satchel.
Ass. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we went to a Rev Pro show, and Grado has started teaming with Colt Cabana over here because they've become a really popular tag team, and they are so good to get. Like, they gelled perfectly, and I mean, Spud has said the same thing. He wants Grado to come over, and he's got a wrestler's got it, and Grado has that. That's not my phone turned off. Grado has that it factor that makes you want to see him again. I mean, it's not that he's like the greatest wrestler ever, but he's just. I mean, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's that he can tell a story in the ring, which is the most important thing. And he's a very funny guy. He's very good, and I would love to see him make it.
Where would you put him?
Probably TNA again, because I don't think the WWE would use him right. Okay. And if you haven't seen Grado, just go online. I think it's probably on YouTube, and search for I think it's Vice, the British Wrestler. Okay. And it's the story of Grado trying to get booked in ICW in Scotland. And it's like a 45 minute documentary, and it's really, really good, and it will make you a fan of Grado for life. So there's my recommendation.
NXTees. What's your favorite shirt you made so far?
Tra-la-la-la-la. I was trying to think.
Not paying the licensing for that song.
La 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 la. Enjoy. I can't think of any t-shirt. What am I wearing now? Oh, this is a good one.
Twice in a lifetime.
This is a good one. Twice in a lifetime, as worn by Dolph Ziggler. I did really like this one around WrestleMania season, and we released it a bit early because we were like, we were certain it was going to happen, and we got all the guys going, "No, you'll never. It's not going to happen. You've released the shirt. Why would I order this now?" And by the time it was confirmed, I just wrote "C" and posted a picture of Darth Vader doing a chokehold, and it was like, "You were misled," or I can't remember what his thing that he says now is, but it was good
I
stuff.
am your father.
I am your father. That was the line, and they got it. Yeah, Twice in a Lifetime was good. I really like the Fandango one, but the one I probably wear most is my Slater's Gonna Slate t-shirt.
Right, with the Rockstar lettering.
Yeah, the not AC/DC letter. No, not the Lynyrd Skynyrd and not the Hulk Hogan lettering.
Right.
The Heath Slater lettering and the generic lettering.
How many do you have in the pipeline?
Well, we release one every 7 days.
Right.
So we watch.
Seems like you got to stock them up, though, right?
Well, we watch Raw, and then based on what we've seen on Raw, we go, maybe we should do this. And then I get Kev, my t-shirt guy, to design it up, and he posts it online, and I share it.
Okay.
So that's how that works. And so we literally come up with these on the fly, so they can be as current as possible. And then we've got one planned, which is very secret at the moment, for WrestleMania, but that one will actually be released through Squared Circle Ringwear, where it's a little different.
I'll get to know off air, right?
Yes, you will. Okay. I think I've already told you, actually. Oh my God, who is texting me?
I can't remember. I was trying to come up with a t-shirt ideas all week.
Oh, it's Joel Ross of Wrestle Talk TV annoying me. There we go. So our WrestleMania one we usually do through Squared Circle Ringwear. NXTees is like the child of NXTees of Squared Circle Ringwear rather.
Right.
because it's run by the same guy, and we were doing t-shirts through there. But the difference with those is we do them, people would pre-order them, and then they'd all get printed to whatever the number was and sold. Whereas with NXTees, it's just printed for the number, and we just give it to a t-shirt company and they print it.
Right.
So so if we think, oh, that would be a good t-shirt, we'll release it on Squared Circle Ringwear rather than NXTees.
This is what I try and get Steven on, is doing the t-shirt.
Yeah, make a t-shirt, Steve. I will buy one. I promise.
Really?
Maybe. It's got to be good though. It can't just say curtain jerks in Comic Sans.
Well, damn it.
Ruined our ideas.
Yeah, it's amazing that you've managed to be on the outside, get on the inside, and turn a profit. Because that's got to be very hard. I mean, I know it's very hard. I've been trying to do it in weird little ways here and there. Because you and I both provide constantly content, but we do it for free. Because we also love wrestling, but we're not going to get in the ring.
Yeah, I only did it for fun in the first place.
Yeah, we're not going to get in the ring. We're not
I have taken one bump, though.
You've taken one.
Because Alex Shane made me.
And
it hurt.
And I might have to, depending on a web series that I'm working on.
Oh, you told me about this one. I think you should definitely do it.
I want to, but I know I'll be taking way more bumps than you have.
It was not comfortable. And those rings are quite padded. It was not comfortable.
Well, I mean, I look forward to it and I dread it at the same time. But we don't ask for a lot out in the open.
Yeah.
Like, we, behind closed doors, we're like, fucking...
Give us some money!
Yeah, let us continue this love that we do, and we try and make it happen, but for you've managed to do it. Like, it's happening.
I don't make it.
No, I know you don't make a ton of money, but think about what indie guys get. You know, they're getting the $30 per show. They're getting the gas money. They're getting this, that.
Yeah.
Like that, and essentially is what you're getting. You're getting to go
I
to
suppose
these
so. I mean,
the big after parties.
Yeah, the big perk from doing all this, like the Wrestle Talk TV stuff, these podcasts, all the interviews is, like, I don't make much money specifically. You know, maybe I'll make 50, 100 quid a month, which, you know, it's nice. I can, buy a new game with that, or buy electricity, or buy food, buy rent. But aside from that, it's just like, I was like, oh, do you want to come to TNA, or do you want to come to this WWE show? And go away, Joel Ross. I'm putting my phone on mute. There we go.
Yeah, that's what helps. Unless
Joel Ross has been banished.
Series where you just yell at it like that.
Yeah, Joel Ross has now been banished. And yet, so I've completely forgotten what I was saying.
That you talk about, you get a little money.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I get the account, like, for example, with Wrestle Talk TV, the Jim Cornette tour's coming up.
Yes.
And I just got an email today, like, oh, which shows do you want to go to? Do you want to help out? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Alpha Female is a perfect example. She made her debut at TNA, and a year ago, I drove her to. I mean, she's a good friend of mine, and I drove her to a tryout. Mm-hmm. And I was just completely caught off guard when she debuted at TNA. But it's just you know, all these little things like
access. You're in the community. Of wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. And I've made a lot of random friends across the world, such as you, Scott. Like, the only reason we know each other is because I one day sent Scott a message saying, "Hey, do you fancy making fun of some of my memes on your show, and in return I'll share it on my page."
Yeah. And I was like, all right. I think you had said we could help each other out, and I remember turning to Steve going like, I don't know what I can do for that guy. Like, look at his numbers.
No, but it was just because I was in the Maldives at the time, working in the Maldives as a journalist, and I had a couple of days where it was a startup paper, so nothing had happened. I was waiting for them just to give me the go-ahead, and I was sitting in an office with nothing but the internet, so I was like, oh, let's see what podcasts are here for wrestling. Comedy wrestling. Let's have a look. This will work.
And as we found out, I don't know how the fuck you found it.
Yeah, we tried to find it, but we could not. Change it to wrestling, whoever is editing. Yeah.
We tried. We looked at it on iTunes to see like how Tom found the podcast, The Curtain Jerks. Trying all these search terms, like, we don't show up.
But you know what? If you search TNA, you're about number 5 for some reason.
It's weird. If you search Funkasaurus, we're like number 2 or 1.
But yeah, so then I was in this random office in the Maldives, just me alone, and I listened to about 30 or 40 curtain jerks in a row. I went a little insane, but I was like, these guys need to be, how are these guys not heard more? And that's why I went to, I was like, well, I'll promote you if you just say hello to my show, and I'll promote you. And like, in general, I hate when a page just comes to you and says S4S ?
Right.
Because if it's got something where
that means shit for sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Shit for sandwich.
Sub for sub.
Yeah, or share for share. And
share for
well,
share. Okay.
there's a couple of ones, but those I absolutely cannot stand. I immediately delete them. But if it's something where it's like what you do will be a benefit to the thing you're sharing, like if you're not just going, oh, look at this and look at that.
Or it's the dialogue
like,
started. It's
okay,
like, hey man, I really like your stuff.
Well, for example, I started at the same time as Kayfabe News, and he didn't ask me for a share for share. I just was like, this is awesome, this is fucking awesome stuff, and I started sharing it, and he in return started sharing it, and now because of that, like I've spoken to him online, and we've become like online friends, so to speak, and we've done a podcast together and stuff like that, and I've made all these random contacts in the world just through going, oh, you know what, maybe I could make a wrestling page, maybe I'm funny, I don't know, and I've made all these absolutely insane contacts that one day I'm sure will become of great benefit. Well, they already have become a great benefit to me.
It's surprising me because I feel if I reach out to a lot of these people, it's the sub for sub feeling no matter what.
Yeah, I whenever it's that, I try and make it as not that as possible because I hate that so much. I always want to say, if you do this, we can do this together or something, or we can do that, or not we just plug my page and I'll plug your page, because no, that just annoys me on Facebook. When a page is just constantly like this page, CM Punk's greatest fans, or it's just, I don't care. Why would I care? Why would I care that you're a fake WWE Universe page?
I don't know.
Exactly.
But we all have the love for wrestling. It's just
exactly. But then I find something that's like I just come across something random, like somebody put, oh, Dolan Wrestling Forum. I love Dolan. Let's have a look. Oh, that's really funny. Share that, and then they get a load of likes, and then I keep them in my radar and help them. Like, if you're a deserving page, I have no problem sharing your content, just as long as it's sharing your content, not just going like this page.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with current jokes. If I just, it's like, that's fucking funny. Listen to this podcast. You will be entertained. I guarantee it. It's that kind of thing.
And then we meet a guy in a pub who's like, I've heard of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's quite good, isn't it?
Because they won't click play. But I am always grateful. You've been I can't even put it into words. You've been so kind with all of your sharing of, putting us on your page, tweeting about us, retweeting, giving the invite for me to come to England to stay in your flat.
I wasn't doing anything. I was like, he was like, I might could have said, well, I got a spare bed. Let's go.
Yeah, and you don't have to do that. You had no reason to do that.
No,
but you did it out of kindness, out of a fellow wrestling fan, and you knew that, like, hey, well, yeah, we can talk wrestling. Yeah, exactly. Shows.
Well, I was like, well, if he comes, I'll have a good time. I know I will. So, and it just proved it's worked. So
and I had fun too, and it is, in our sense, like as we're hanging out in the after party for TNA, and I'm talking to some of these guys about the fraternity. That it's, I talked to Mr. Anderson about Cole Cabana's podcast, and I said, like, that's easy for you guys because in that setting, it's the fraternity. Right away, you can sit down and everything's relaxed because you're of the same club. Like, you are all running in the same circles, which, in our instance, it's kind of what we do. Like, it's our version of it.
Well, that's the exact thing I have with, like, when I did the Kayfabe News guy, Colin Hunter's interview. It took 1 minute and we were chatting away like we'd known each other for years. Just because we're all, it's all this, like, internet intermingled circles. Like, you got Heelbook and you got a load of pages like that where it's just, I talk to these guys online now and I've never met them in person. And I love it.
I hear you do it on your podcast, and it blows me away because I think, like, oh yeah, they can know each other, but man, no, we're small potatoes. Like, I don't want to bother any of them. But occasionally, I'll have talked to somebody. Like, I remember Where's Randy Savage had reached out because he was in town for SummerSlam, and we never got to talk in person. But it was like, yeah, I know you. I go, really? How are you aware of us?
See, like, that's what I do.
Really?
That's what I do.
Where's Randy Savage?
Yeah, I do the exact same thing. I don't know, I just look at myself as a small potato.
Well, you're a bigger potato than you think.
How dare you?
God, you ordered so many fucking chips.
Oh, no, we went for fish and chips because, Scott's got to have all the English things.
I do.
And I brought them back to him. And this was a small chips. And
That was the
yeah,
small?
they give you loads of chips in it. Like
Jesus
most English
Christ.
meals are normally portioned size wise, but when they give you fish and chips, you get a shitload of chips.
Yeah, this was an American.
I mean, I can still see
serving.
half your chips on the plate.
Yeah, I ate a lot of them.
Yeah, and I didn't even finish them.
Oh,
And I'm English,
So,
but yeah.
well, speaking of a lot of servings, give them the huge amount of servings of where they can get everything that you got.
Layfieldreport.com.
I gotta go on there. I gotta click.
You do?
So click on there. What do they
Yeah.
do? They click on it. They like it.
No, they just click. Well,
Is there a Facebook Live
I'll
on the
tweet
bottom?
it out. I'll put it on Facebook. They just share that, and then more people watch it or look at it, and that means I get more money from JB Lay.
Okay.
JB Lay. JBL.
That's weird.
JB Lay. JB Lay.
Weird Puerto Rican chant you made for him.
That's for LJB Lay.
Mm-hmm.
Coming soon. Yeah, so Layfield Report. We got NXTees.com, NXTES.com.
A new T-shirt every week.
New T-shirt, yes. Every Monday, Tuesday-ish when we get our act together and make a T-shirt.
My favorite one, I gotta tell you, my favorite one, the Gold Dust Jason Voorhees one.
Oh, I've got that. I was like specifically like, I want something for Halloween because I was going to the Challenge TV Halloween party. I was like, I want a wrestling thing because I'm with Wrestle Talk TV, and I want a Halloween thing. And I was looking for this thing. I was like, what if we put wrestlers' face Gold Dust, Jason Voorhees?
That one's amazing.
Yeah, actually, originally it was going to be Michael Myers, but then we decided Jason Voorhees because Michael Myers is a bit pale.
Yeah, it's expressionless.
Yes, which is why he's scary. But yeah, I do like my Gold Dust tee a lot. And yeah, so there's NXTees, of course, Facebook.com/wrestling memes, at wrestling_memes on Twitter, where I'll most Mondays stay up till 4 a.m. to tweet about Raw and then go back and look at what I've written the next day to make memes.
How
And
pissed are you at the guy who's got wrestling memes with no underscore?
I didn't want it. I
Really?
Yeah, I made it wrestling_memes.
Really? Why?
Yeah. I don't know, I just did. I was like, I want wrestling_memes.
Oh, okay.
So-
I
so-
thought it was by like, motherfucker
No,
took
no.
my
But
Twitter
there
handle.
is a wrestlingmemes.com which posts my stuff all the time. That is not me. Don't
Okay.
give that man any money.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's I think that's everything I've got. Do I have
No.
anything? Oh, at the Tom Anstey on Facebook as well,
Mm-hmm.
where I sometimes post pictures and stuff. Like I just posted a picture today.
You said on Facebook. You want people to friend you?
No, at the Tom Anstey on Twitter.
You said Facebook.
No, I meant Twitter. But yeah, every Sunday on Challenge TV. I'm not actually on Wrestle Talk TV. Oh, actually, I've made 3 appearances, all for under 5 seconds.
I should have told Joel my idea. I still want this to happen.
What's
I
your
want you
idea?
to debut.
I'll pass it on.
I want you to debut on the show as the Shock Memester.
Just get a Star Wars helmet.
Yeah, get a Star Wars
And
helmet,
fall
bust
over.
through a wall, and
Oh.
then you're the Shock Memester.
I'm going to pass it on to Joel. All right, that's a
I
great
want this-
idea.
I want
I'll
this
pass
to
it on
happen.
to Joel.
I'm gonna tweet. I'm
But
gonna
I
tweet
did
tonight.
make an appearance as Abyss. They made me wear glasses, and then they were looking for a replacement, quote unquote, for Francesca Wood, and I was sitting next to Pat as high as I could be with my glasses on, and I looked just like Joseph Park, and then Pat pushed me down. I was like doing the Abyss, the height thing he did, like where he was putting his hand up, and that was my first appearance, and then I made a couple of appearances where they were run-ins and waving at the cameras. And my arse also made an appearance when I accidentally walked in front of the camera when they were still filming. Like when they do the end sequence, it blurs out, but they still show the set.
Yes.
And I wasn't paying attention, just wandered straight past the camera. And then I watched TV about a month later when I was, because I tweet Wrestle Talk as well. The Wrestle Talk Twitter is me and another guy, but I do all the TV stuff. And I'm watching, I was like, hang on. That's my ass, and it's blurred out on the TV. I was wearing jeans and stuff,
Right,
but
not bare
not my bare ass. That would be horrific for everybody. And yeah, so but maybe one day they'll go, hey Tom, we've got nothing good on. Why don't you come on?
Shock Memester.
Shock Memester.
And
yeah.
podcast.
And the podcast, the Damn Good Wrestling Podcast, which will be heavily featuring Scott Nava for several months because we've done 5 or 6 interviews.
Yeah, I've somehow infiltrated your podcast more than I think you're on it.
Well, I think it was we were just like, oh yeah, we'll just do the interviews together and then work it out. And then I was looking at it, I was like, well, I don't know how to cut these up. Why don't you just do a short version and then I'll release it after? And that's how that happened. But yeah, we did some good interviews, and some of them will have already come out on Curtain Jerks, and there's a few to come, and
that's available on
the internet.
Podbean.
Yes, Podbean. I think it's Thomas Anstey or Tom Anstey at Podbean,
and iTunes.
And iTunes, which is a lot easier, where you just type in the Damn Good Wrestling Podcast.
And you guys will show up.
And we'll show up because I put it in the wrestling category.
Yeah, damn it. Competed with comedy.
Yeah, fool.
Well, Tom, thank you for having me in your country. Thank you for having me in your home. And thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me on the podcast. Was that the end?
Yes.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Good stuff, Scott.
To another country talking to another wrestling fan, and a guy who makes a fairly decent living at doing that.
He knows his shit.
Yeah, it's crazy fun. So before we wrap things up,
Tom, by the way, I'm still working on those T-shirt designs.
One of the things on the show is we try and talk to big name people on the show all the time, and we reluctantly talk to Randy Orton from time to time. I mean, he's a bit of a slow guy.
Reluctantly, he's champion right now, Scott.
Yeah, he's the guy,
It's the face of the company.
It's the face of the company, and he has been getting more riled up. Like at Raw and SmackDown, both, he's getting crazy. Like he was getting those fans all riled up during the show.
Oh, speaking of which,
you may have been too drunk to realize.
Yeah, it's great when you find out. You don't ever really know when Raw goes to commercial when you're there live until they start doing rest holds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or
when Seth
Rollins gets on the mic and starts talking about CM Punk.
You're like, I'm like, oh shit, this is Abraham Washington moment. He's getting fucking fired. Oh my God, he's lost his mind. He's getting fired. This is crazy.
That was so cool.
Oh, this is on the app.
Yeah.
This is on the WWE.
And then they cut his mic because they were going back to live because they were returning from commercial. It was really funny because he looked at his microphone. He was like, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy moment. That's what happened.
Excuse me. I thought you guys were in the middle of my intro.
Oh, boy. Everybody, please welcome back to the podcast WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton. He's holding up both belts right now for the listeners at home. It's the World Heavyweight Championship is in the left hand, and the WWE Championship is in the right. He switched them, so now it's the opposite. Now it's WWE Championship in the left hand, and he's switching them again.
How about now?
Well, it's back to what it was originally. So listen. Okay.
And now
you're holding both in both hands and just stretching them both out. So the one on top is the WWE Championship, and the one lower is the World Heavyweight Championship. And now you've rested them across your nipples.
That's right, Scott Narver. I don't need to wear a shirt when I'm indoors.
Well, isn't this a promo? Don't you want to put on? I mean, you're not wearing pants. You could start wearing pants.
Look, as soon as I start selling audio T-shirts, then I'll wear a shirt when I'm on the radio.
Audio T-shirts?
I think you know exactly what I mean.
I don't. I'm confused.
It's just a concept. I haven't really thought it out the entire way through.
Audio
If
T-shirts?
I was on TV, I'd be wearing a shirt and no pants.
Oh.
If I'm on the radio, I'd probably be wearing something similar. Sans pants.
So, right. That's my favorite character in Don Quixote. Randy, by the time this episode comes out, people know what's happened on SmackDown. You are going into the Elimination Chamber, and you're facing all your opponents one-on-one before that. So you faced Daniel Bryan, you lost. You faced John Cena, you lost. You beat Christian, and then you lost to Antonio Cesaro, who's beat you clean. There was no interference, no nothing. He beat you clean. What do you say to all this?
As the face of the WWE, I think it's egregious and horribly unfair that I have to face every competitor before the Elimination Chamber match.
Okay, well,
I've already talked to the authority, specifically Triple H, to let him know I am unhappy with the way things
are going. Are going. Are just are okay.
Going.
Are going. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem to matter, right? Because you're still going to have to face...
I beg your pardon, or I don't because I don't need to. But none of those were title defenses, perhaps you've noticed week after week.
Well, yeah, they're not title defenses, so I guess you're cool with losing? I mean, you still have to face Sheamus.
Look, it took a lot of work on my part to make sure that none of those were title matches, all right? I've been talking to Stephanie McMahon and Triple H every day and doing chores and errands to make sure that I don't have to do any title matches until the Elimination Chamber.
Chores and chores?
What?
You're doing chores?
No, I didn't. What?
What do you mean you're doing chores? To make sure they're not title matches?
No,
What does that mean? What chores are you doing for the Authority?
I've been bringing fruit plates to Stephanie McMahon in her office. And I've been washing Triple H's car.
Okay.
And I've been...
Did you soap it?
No, I didn't soap it. I used a jet dry combination with soft soap that's used to get a polish and a nice sheen all over the car.
Oh, okay. That sounds nice.
It's a Bentley. And the license plate says HHH AAA.
Oh, because he's a AAA member.
Yes.
I gotcha.
He also got a flat tire, and I volunteered to change it, but I didn't know how to change the tire, so I know
how that goes.
I had to take the tire and get a ride to an auto parts place to get a Fix-A-Flat foam solution.
Did you get the Fix-A-Flat?
And then I took it to
good. I used that recently.
Yeah, I took it and put it in the tire for Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
At which point, I then got it enough pressure in the car to drive it to a gas station to change the tire. At which point, a really dickless asshole told me that he could change the tire, but he'd have to change and wash it out from the inside because I used the Fix-A-Flat in the first place.
Well, I mean, what were you going to do? The tire was flat. You had
How was I going to get it to the gas station?
How were you going to get it to the gas
How
station?
was I going to get Triple H's car to the gas station?
What are you going to tow it? That's
like
much.
$80.
Yeah, that's $80.
Well, I got a splinter. Maybe I'll take an ambulance.
Wait.
Ambulance match to the emergency room.
But wait, Triple H is a AAA member, so that would have been a free tow. It's on the license plate.
I've been taking fruit plates to Stephanie McMahon in her office.
Do you have to do stuff with the Outlaws, the New Age Outlaws? They're Triple H's buddies.
Yes, they're buddies, but they're not officially part of the Authority. So all the things I do for them, I have to do when Triple H is around to make so he knows that I'm helping out his buddies.
Well, something that hits a little close to home, they put stuff. They tried to
date rape Betty White.
Well, I don't know if it was date rape. I mean, that's one interpretation.
Everybody gets a little hazy about the definition of it, but if they were trying to drug her and have sex with her against her will, it was rape.
Well, that could have been one thing. I looked at it as I thought they had Visine, because if you put Visine in someone's drink, that makes them have diarrhea. And I thought Billy Gunn then was having diarrhea, which, you know all about. Pooping.
Yes, when he ran back on Raw to the gorilla position, I was waiting there with my own gym bag to show Triple H that Billy Gunn could poop into my gym bag.
And so he did poop in your bag?
He pooped in my bag.
Billy Gunn pooped in your bag. Mr.
Billy
Ass.
Gunn, Mr. Ass, Mr. Assed my bag.
And how's Betty White doing? No one date raped her, right?
We haven't seen her since she didn't leave the arena.
I'm gonna suggest it was Kane, because she might have been looking Katie Vick-like at that stage.
All we know is that Off the Rockers premieres on Lifetime February 22nd.
Why are you promoting this? Is that another chore that you have? You have to promote Betty White's show?
2 days before the WWE Network launches on February 24th.
Oh my gosh.
Off the Rockers premieres on Lifetime February 22nd.
You don't seem excited about this show.
I'm incredibly excited about this show, Scott Narver and Steve Sears. This is how I get my business done, and I make sure that I'm still champion going into WrestleMania.
Okay, well, if all these losses don't matter, what are you going to do against Sheamus? You're going to win or lose?
Sheamus on the next Raw?
I assume so.
I'd like to win, but who fucking knows? Excuse me. Who horse feathers knows? I shouldn't be swearing.
Well, I don't know if you should also be using horse feathers either. Just because it sounds lame.
It's incredibly lame.
want to go up against Batista in a one-on-one match?
No, I do not want to go up against Batista.
Well, then what's your plan?
My plan is I'd like to make it through WrestleMania without having to defend my belt ever.
Well, do you know Jack Swagger's on a path right now? He's trying to jack everyone off.
Excuse me?
Jack Swagger is on a path right now. He's going to jack everyone off in the roster.
I have been feeling a little bit tense.
Oh, no. See, okay. All right. I don't know if it's regional or not. Jack Swagger, his intention of jacking you off is throwing you off your game or taking the titles off you.
Oh, you mean like jacking somebody off in the mouth?
Well, okay. Again, this might regional. No, he's talking about like it's his way of winning or putting you in your place, not actually satisfying you to the point of where your body comes.
I think I understand now.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I just didn't know if you knew that.
You know what? That's a great slogan. Randy Orton's gonna jack you off. I think I'm gonna take that to the authority.
Oh, what?
If I'm doing my own writing, it really gets me a lot of brownie points.
You're gonna take Jack Swagger's slogan?
Yeah.
God, that's you.
Heel?
You are the heel, sir.
Am I?
You are the heel. So
I think the T-shirt's gonna say Randy Orton's gonna jack you off and then shit in your bag.
Oh my God. Oh wait, you don't mean shit, right? You mean horse feathers?
Yeah. Oh, I mean horse feathers. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hey, yeah, sure thing. Got your back, buddy. So okay, so how are you gonna win an elimination chamber?
Cunning.
Okay. Was that
Snake-like cunning.
snake-like cunning? That's it? There's no other plan? Nothing with the pod?
Hopefully I won't dislocate my shoulder when I start punching the ground.
I hope so, for your sake.
Me too, for my sake.
Because then you'll have to face Batista.
With a dislocated shoulder.
Mm-hmm. You're boned.
Look, I'm worried about Batista.
Why?
I really am. They're building up that storyline with him going into Mania, and they're going to make me look so bad. He's coming for me like a freight train. He's got so much momentum coming, going into Elimination Chamber.
Well.
And now going after me. It's almost as if Batista's bigger than WrestleMania, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean...
Man, just every week, thrilling new adventures with Batista, seeing and having him say things that we've never seen him see or do before.
Well, I'm a fan, but I don't know if it's been quite like that. It's been
yes, sirree, this is the biggest, most exciting return for Batista, and he's headed for me, your champion, Randy Orton.
Well, it's not really even been acknowledged that you two are going to fight one another. It's just all
yes, sirree,
underplayed.
Batista, the animal, is back in WWE, and not with a whimper, but a slightly bigger whimper.
Well, I mean, at least you're excited about it. I want to be.
I'm not excited.
Oh.
I'm terrified.
Well,
that man's
okay.
an animal.
Yeah, he is an animal.
Are you seeing the storyline they've been building up? It's almost like me and him have got some real tension. Not sure about what.
I'm not sure about what either. Randy, if you're not done with all your chores, or hey, if you happen to be done with all your chores, Steve and I have our cars out there. If you want to give them a little wash down. It was Steve's birthday recently too. I don't know if you want to.
Ordinarily, I'd horse feather in both of your faces, but because I'm trying to keep up the good image, I'll wash your cars, and then hopefully maybe I can relax.
Well, you've used horse feathers as both fuck and shit. As you've missed.
My eyes are burning. Don't say those words.
Well, I don't know what you mean by horse feather our faces, so I don't know if you're gonna fuck our faces or
maybe
shit.
I'm gonna fuck shit your faces. Oh, horse feathers. I've got to get out of here.
Okay, well, Randy's waddling out of here.
God, he's so broad, and he went through. We had to go past each other at the doorway. I got baby oil.
Yeah,
on my
you're
shirt.
just covered in baby oil right now. You're
Why doesn't
dripping.
that guy wear a fucking shirt?
I don't know.
Ugh.
I guess if I looked that good, I wouldn't wear a shirt either.
Or pants. If I had legs that nice, I don't think I'd wear pants that
I think
often.
I'd wear pants though, just because I wouldn't want a ball hanging out.
Wouldn't
I
you?
got droopy balls.
Wouldn't you want to just wouldn't you want to be at a coffee shop and someone orders a drink and then you'd be like, here, let me get that for you, and then you just go and you turn your hips and you grab it like a bullwhip. Ice drinks. No hot drinks.
Yo. No, it's all loose. It's not tight and firm. Like I can wrap it around and be like
Well, here, let me tighty whities or boxers.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm a boxer.
Boxer briefs or boxers?
No, boxers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
There you go,
Oh, yeah,
listeners.
don't ask me back. It's not appropriate.
What are you?
What did I just fucking say?
I don't. You said ask me back.
I said don't ask me back.
You asked. Okay, everybody. Jerk tweets for next week. What kind of underwear does Steve Sears wear?
It's going to be a lot of ladies.
Yeah.
No, a lot of ladies' underwear, not a lot of ladies tweeting. I should point that out.
No, it rarely is ladies tweeting, if ever. They usually just like if we talk about Heath Slater or John Morrison.
Retweet.
Yay! His hair. So that wraps up another episode of Curtain Jerks. There is so much coming up in the weeks. More interviews from the UK. We've got interviews from Progress Wrestling. And with Impact Wrestling's Rockstar Spud will be coming up in the upcoming weeks. And I'll be telling stories about those shows because I saw a month's worth of Impact. I don't want to spoil it all now. We had all this other stuff, so I'll get to that. And of me drinking. And then also, a big exclusive thing, check out WWE Main Event on AfterBuzz TV because this week we'll be interviewing Josh Matthews from the WWE.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're going to be asking him some questions there, so you can hear that on iTunes and watch that on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. And if you like him on there, hey, secretly tell him you want to hear him on this podcast. Tweet him and do all that stuff.
Secretly?
Yeah, hey, you didn't hear me say that,
Oh, okay.
I can't directly go out there and be with AfterBuzz and go like, hey, can you be on Curtain Jerks? That's underhanded, so I'm having you guys do it.
Maybe I should watch the live stream.
Oh.
Maybe can people watch the live stream and comment? And when I say maybe, I mean me.
No one pays attention to the live streaming comments, sadly.
YouTube, that channel with all of the YouTubes.
Yeah, all the YouTubes. You can comment below and like and do all that. So yeah, Josh Matthews, you're going to be talking to him. So maybe make a friend and maybe he'll be on the podcast someday. Who knows? The possibilities have limits.
Just like BioShock Infinite. Limited possibilities.
Limited possibilities. So, for Curtain Jerks, I'm Scott Narver.
I'm Steve Sears.
Enjoy your wrestling, kids.
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.